Hello, Hollywood Time viewers. Today we welcome owner of Adams Motorsports Park and star of his own hit TV series, Baby Drivers on Discovery Plus, Troy Adams. Hey, Troy, how you doing?
Hey, great, Judy. Thanks for having me on.
So what's going on in your world? What an exciting world that is.
No, just staying busy, enjoying the show right now, Baby Drivers on Discovery Plus, as well as training all my young drivers right now. Actually getting ready for Mexico here shortly. So it's pretty good.
Wow, you guys, is this the first time that you've traveled down there?
No, so we actually go to Mexico. We went last year just with my son and did extremely well in the Formula Karts program down there. It's a national series. And so this year in 2022, we want to take a little bit more drivers down. So we've had the opportunity to take Grayson Dean, who is actually on the show, another young man, John McClellan, and myself, my son, Truly Adams. So we took in quite a few other drivers down there too.
That's a unique name. How, where did Truly come from?
Well, his first name is Troy,
Okay.
and then his middle name is Truly, but my wife said, no, we're not having a total junior. So we came up with Truly, and his nickname is Truly the Truth. And it was really just from, us being in sports before, and always talking about, again, if we wanted to have a son in sports, we wanted him to have a cool nickname, and that's how we came up with Truly the Truth.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. Briefly, let's talk about your company. It started with your grandfather. A little bit of history there.
Yeah, so my grandfather, we were farmers back in the day, or I would say they were farmers because I wasn't quite born yet. And my uncles, my dad and my uncles bought a go-kart for one of my cousins, John and Ralph, and they were driving this go-kart out in the front of the street. And my grandmother was like, no, that's too dangerous. Frank, go out and drag a little go-kart track or a little track for them in the backyard, which was that time the farm. And after about 2-3 weeks, people passing by the fairway, which is, our property backs up to, saw this go-kart track and asked could they ride on it too. And from that day forward, we owned a go-kart track and went into business, and my grandmother and grandfather never worked a day in their life.
Wow. So did you start racing when you were a kid?
Unfortunately, I always tell people when you own Magic Mountain, you don't enjoy the ride. So we didn't get a chance to drive. I didn't get a chance till I was about 18 years old and started my career late in the racing industry. I learned the business aspect of it a lot. So everything from the concession stands to the insurance, to running a pro shop, but never got a chance to be behind the wheel till I was older. I also played a lot of stick and ball sports.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, you're in Riverside, right? Is that where your company is?
Yes, ma'am. Riverside, California.
You're born and raised in Southern California, and just really never got into go-karting, I guess, because I was into ponies and riding mini bikes. And, you go to those places where they're inside a big warehouse and you think that's so cool. I mean, how do you train a 5-year-old to compete in a go-kart?
You know what? I think kids are amazing. And sometimes we just have to get out of the way as adults and, let them enjoy their passion. And so when I have a young person who is excited about racing, the biggest thing is overcoming their fears, right? And so we teach them that they can control all of that and learn how to be comfortable in an uncomfortable state. And once they understand that aspect of the racing game, they seem to do extremely well.
Yeah, I've been watching the show, and it's like sometimes I just don't understand how, like, the parents, like your wife and all these other women, how they can, watch their kids. I have 3 grandkids, and I don't know if I could handle it. It's like, something else.
Yeah, my son, we tease my wife quite a bit because, as much as she wants to support Truly and his passion, she's not, into totally watching him. She'll watch all the practice sessions, but as soon as the races start, she walks the other direction. She's a very nervous type person, but she's very supportive. So that's been a blessing.
And, you see on the show, I mean, do these parents really get that crazy with their kids and you?
Oh yeah, no, that was that part of the show was all authentic. There was no scripted play in the show. Unfortunately, parents know no different than you see some of the stick and ball sports, right? They're passionate about their kids and the success of their kids. And so sometimes as parents, we lose our minds. I'm not even gonna say that I'm not one of those parents at times, but we try to keep that in check in our program. And that's the hard part. That's a hard part about racing, is that we're spending so much money and time, unlike some of your stick and ball, where, you know, as soon as we start that go-kart up, it's costing money. So it's tough. But yes, our parents are a little crazy in our industry.
Yeah, I know. I also heard that it's like it costs up to $10,000 like on a weekend. Seriously?
Yeah, some of our national events, they're up to $10,000, but we've been blessed that we started a new program. You know, we saw the show and heard a lot of the cries of other individuals that would love to get involved with it. So we started a program here at the track where we've lowered that interest to bearing, where it would have cost, you know, a few $100s to get into the sport. And some of our sponsors and marketing partners, ROV and VLR, which is a kart chassis, has really helped, you know, bring that price down to everybody so they can also enjoy the sport we love.
Wow. So how did Discovery find you?
You know, I would love to say that it was all me, but, you know, behind every good man is a better woman. I'll say that. And my wife was the one that really pushed, you know, to get the show, and she put everything together, worked with, you know, Lucky 8 Productions to actually put together some of the cast members. And, you know, they shot the pilot, and Discovery Plus loved it. And, you know, on we've gone from there.
Wow. I had a couple of questions for you too. I wanted, you told us about how your wife got you into this amazing Discovery Plus show. So you guys been picked up for another season? What's it look like?
God willing, we'll get season 2. I know that Discovery's in a lot of business negotiations right now as a parent company. So we're just waiting, you know, but at the end of the day, we've had great response from the audience and individuals that have watched, you know, all of the 6 episodes. So we just believe that, yes, we'll go to season 2, but until then, we'll just continue to do what we're doing.
Wow. I wanted to know too, what is the best part of running your business?
Man, that's a great question. You know, I think the best part of running our business is being able to work with my wife, which has been a blessing, and my son, being able to drive. And then the next part of that would be really seeing young men and young women grow up in our industry and not just be successful really in go-karting or in racing, but be successful in life. And so, you know, today we live in this, you know, world of entitlement, and to be able to see our kids not really focus on that, but focus on community has been a blessing.
What did you guys do during COVID? What happened to your business?
So during COVID, you know, we had to adjust like many, but because we have a large facility, we were able to turn it into more of a RV park. And so, you know, we had more of an RV park with one of the concessions as go-karting. And my wife, I would say, was the brainchild behind that. And so we were able to stay open majority of COVID. We have a large facility, so we kept everybody separated, kept everybody safe. And, you know, we actually went online, which has actually changed the industry. And so everything was online. And so we didn't really have to talk or communicate with the customer. They were able to come, enjoy by themselves in their own little RV, and still utilize our facility. So we were blessed.
Wow, she's really a businesswoman, isn't she?
Yeah, like I said, she's definitely the mind child.
Now, did you lose some of your, you know, clientele because of COVID? Maybe they lost their jobs, or, you know, sadness.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, like everybody, right? COVID was a tough sickness or disease for everybody. And we, you know, we put our condolences out for those individuals who did lose family members. But that being said, you know, we're a small business, and we had to figure out how to survive ourselves, you know, how to feed our own families, as well as give people the peace of mind, because being cooped up for 6-9 months was crazy for a lot of individuals. And so that mental health aspect of the game is what we also had to focus on. And so I will say that we didn't really lose that many, you know, patrons. We actually gained a little bit because of how we did business, how we were able to communicate through social media, and the practices that we provided for our patrons, again, with very, very wide social distancing, and allowed them the freedom to still spend time with their family, but still do the sport that they love, which was karting.
Yeah. Did you guys start competing again in 2021 last year?
Yes. So as soon as COVID, became, open a little bit, and the practices were eased, we started having some small races. We did a lot of practicing and testing, getting our drivers ready for the next season. And then that's when we also, Mexico was really restricted, but they had a lot of really good guidelines into place. And so we actually went to Mexico to race before we raced in the US, just because of their guidelines. And a gentleman by the name of Carlos Medina did a phenomenal job of putting together the structure for people to race and race safely.
Is it popular over there too?
Oh, Mexico is incredible. Yeah, it's almost like our second home. My son speaks Spanish as a second language.
Awesome.
And they're very competitive. They're, one of the countries that have two, Formula One drivers. They have a Hispanic or Mexican NASCAR driver that are doing really, really well. And so, individuals who don't know about, the Mexico culture and that country is really missing out in racing. They're doing a phenomenal job in Mexico.
That's cool to know. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I have two Mexican drivers, young kids that are here. They stayed with me for a month, and they're doing a phenomenal job, Pato and Marcelo. So yeah, our relations now with Mexico is doing a phenomenal job.
So you and your wife learning Spanish as well, or do you already know it?
Mi español es no bueno, pero necesito practicar mucho. My Spanish is not good, as I said, but I need to practice
Sounds
more.
good.
And I can fake it really, really well. But thank God I have a son that speaks, and I have young kids that I train that speak well and help me in the country.
So when, say if I came today and wanted my grandson who's 10 years old to do this, what would be your advice to me?
I would say my number one advice is to enjoy the journey. You didn't get involved with racing or sports to win championships. You got involved to, allow your grandbaby to enjoy something different. And so sometimes we forget when we're starting the sport and we continue on these years is why we started, and that foundation of just enjoying life and enjoying your little ones. So that's be the first one I'd say. And then the second thing would be is to, allow them that space to grow and allow them the space to make mistakes. And with those mistakes, becomes, that growth period, and that begets excellence.
Troy, is there times when you have to tell a parent, hey, your kid just doesn't have what it takes, or you don't have what it takes? I mean, is it hard for that kind of stuff?
It's not that hard. Yes, it's very hard. Let me not lie to you. It's very hard to tell a parent let me back up. I don't say that they don't have the talent, because I believe that every kid does have the talent. Most of the discussion is that the parent is getting in the way of that talent, or the parent is getting in the way of allowing their kid the failures in order to grow. And so most of our discussions or our arguments are with the parents, in that they need to step back a little bit or a lot and allow their kid or their child, again, to grow and grow at their own speed. We live in a world now and instant gratification. And so when they don't get that instant gratification, they become upset and begin to try to coach themselves. And so that's the hardest part of my job, is telling the parent to back off and allow us to do our job.
And then your age limit is 5. You have the different levels, 3 levels, right, of competing?
Yeah, so our age limit is from 5 to 7 years old. That's a kid kart program. Our cadets is from 8 to 12-year-old, and then our juniors and seniors are from basically 16 and up. So juniors is 12 to 16, and then 16 on up in our industry is for the adults.
So what's the oldest driver you have out there that you work with?
My oldest driver right now, I work with a gentleman about 68, 69 years old. Yeah. So look, you're in. Now we got you. You could bring your right grandbaby and you come out, enjoy it. But no, we get all ages. I always tell people from age 5 to 99, we can do it.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to come out and visit your place. I don't even know where it is.
Riverside, California, Adams Motorsports Park. You'd love it.
I'm gonna have to kind of Google it. That's amazing. Now, I also read here that you have a couple of programs called Friday Night Time Attack and Saturday Night Drift. What are those?
Yeah, so that's for our car enthusiasts. Our Time Attack is just like you come out, you get a chance to drive your own personal vehicle on the track. We have time sessions from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and 8 to 9 p.m. on Fridays or Saturday nights. And you can just go out and see how fast you can drive one lap. Basically, they do 3-lap sessions, but 1 lap around the track, and we time it. And that's called Time Attack. And then the drifting program, which is really exciting. People come out. We have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 spectators. And that is what is that? What is the movie now? I can't believe it. It is Fast and Furious.
Oh, Fast and Furious.
God. See, if this was not for my wife in the background telling me everything, I'd be in trouble. I'd be a mess.
Always a good woman for that, man.
Exactly. So Fast and Furious, cars are, a lot of spinning out, and a lot of smoke and tire screeching, big cars, sideways action. It's just incredible.
See, that's the kind of stuff that you should get out there to all of Southern California or LA County to get these kids off of the street from doing that, get them to come out and do that where, it's safe and they can at least get that out of their system.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We've been doing this now for about 13 years. We've worked with the Riverside County Sheriff Department. We've worked with different organizations to stop in our area some of those sideshows that are starting to immerse again. Back in the day, it was more illegal drags. And so, we work with the different departments. We work with other cities and states as well to help them put together programs at smaller kart tracks or racing facilities, so to help kids get off the streets.
Oh, that's great. Also, after watching your program, I wanted to know the emotions that you and your wife felt when Truly went from the cadets to the juniors because of his weight and size. How hard was that for you two?
Yeah, that was really tough. But one of the things, like we talked about in the show, and what we focus on here is foundation. And so since he's been 5 years old, we worked on his foundation and making sure that he was a sound driver. And a big part of me was, hey, just don't wreck the race car. I'm always talking to our youth about being safe and being under control. And so if you do all those things that we've taught you since you were 5 years old, then you should be able to produce at another level. The difference was the speed of the go-kart, going from 50 mile an hour to 65 doesn't sound much, but you put a 5-year-old in your lap and tell him to drive you home on the freeway. Now you start to get that, that excitement. So we're Truly, it was nerve-wracking. Kara was definitely nervous. She didn't even want to watch the first race, but because the cameras were there, she had to sit by the fence and endure it. But no, we were a nervous wreck.
I know I was actually nervous. My heart was racing. I'm like, I don't understand. And there was one at the beginning of the show, your wife said that, I don't remember if it was her mom or someone said, I'm going to turn you in for child endangerment. Because it's like, you just think, how could you do this to your kids?
Yeah. And, we tease about that a lot just because, in our industry, it goes back, right? How many of us would put a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old on your lap and say, hey, drive on the regular highway at 60 mile an hour? That's absolutely crazy. But that's kind of what we're telling them to do. We're telling them to get in this race vehicle, drive 65 mile an hour with 20 other drivers on the track at 2 inches off the ground and push each other when it's time or pass each other when it's time. It's insane at times. So we tease a lot, but her mom is not from the racing industry, and she was not happy when her grandbaby was first put into a race kart, but she's a proud grandma now. He just won another race here a week ago and is doing well in Mexico and on his way to his dreams.
Oh yeah, because we teach our kids to drive a car, so we're sitting next to them. It's like, I just can't imagine teaching a 5-year-old in a go-kart. Do you just give them the gas and say, just you run alongside it first? What do you do at the beginning?
No, we teach them the basics, right? So we start off with just gas and brake and how to stop the car. And so we'll give them maybe a 10-foot distance in between. And in the beginning, we'll say, okay, look, I want you to get on the gas here, get on the brake here. And then over time, we increase the distance. We increase the track width and length. And so our younger groups start off on a very small track, and then they increase as they get better. And we don't put any switches or anything on the vehicle. We teach them how to do it correctly the first time so that we don't have to worry about the issues later.
So if I, like I said, if I wanted to bring my grandkids out there, do we bring them out to one of the shows so they can see how it is? Do they get to see one up close? How does it work?
You can do it both ways. You know, a lot of our customers now really just sign up online, and we have a basic course. You sign up through TroyAdamsCoaching.com, or you can message us through our Instagram at Troy Adams Coaching. You can also do it through our Adams Motorsports Park website as well. And so you sign up online. Once you sign up online, it will, get you through all the system. Kara, you can also call Kara. Our office line is 951-250-3406. And Kara will pick up the phone and walk you through, the whole program as well. So we have multiple ways that you can get involved. And then once you're here at the facility, we have all the equipment. So we have the go-kart, we have the helmet, the suit, all the protective gear that you need in order to be safe. And then our instructors are phenomenal at walking you through step-by-step the system in order for you to progress.
Then do you also have where someone could come out for a one time and just go around the track, or is it just strictly for them to get into the racing?
Well, it's usually just for, right now it's just to take the school, and then from the schooling, then you actually can go into the racing. We're working on a program right now with some nonprofits in order to allow the whole community come out and enjoy the sport for a couple laps. And so that's some things that we're working on. But at this particular point in time, it's all through our racing school or through our pro shop.
Cool. Well, that sounds like it's going forward.
Yes, it's been a blessing.
You have anything else to share with us today?
I would just say, for those individuals, make sure you go out and check out the show, Baby Drivers on Discovery Plus. If you have any questions in regards to go-karting, please feel free to hit us on our platforms, Adams Motorsports Park or Troy Adams Coaching. And last, just enjoy the journey. Whatever journey you're on, enjoy it, because life is short.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we could come out as spectators as well. Do you have that for folks?
Yes, you can come out anytime to spectate, visit our pro shop, visit the track, look at check out the website and look what's going on here at the park. And we're always here.
And we can come and get an autograph because you're famous now?
Oh my goodness, I'm not famous. I'm just Troy, but I'm enjoying the journey, and I look forward to meeting you in person and having you and your grandbaby come out too.
I'll have to come out. And I wanted to ask, when is your wife going to write her book?
So she wrote a book. She actually did write a book, Hidden Treasure, and I'm gonna make sure that she sends you one. Hidden Treasure. You have to check it out. Kara Adams. It's a phenomenal book, kind of over her life and her journey, her cancer journey, our relationship. I tell everybody you have to read past chapter 6 because I was not the best husband in the beginning, but I've learned over a lifetime and a short time period of our marriage that to support each other. And it's been great since then. So we're big on that, but yeah, definitely have to check her book out, Hidden Treasure.
Yeah, well, we'll promote that for her too. That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, truly a pleasure. Thank you for having me.